We're going to continue our conversation in discussing the Big Ideas 2023, a publication from Ark Invest over here. One of the things that we discussed was technological conversions, that was part one. Then we discussed artificial intelligence, that was part two. In this particular discussion, we're going to continue with digital consumers and the idea of digital transformation taking hold in terms of a consumer, area. The next one will be also very interesting, and we're going to talk about digital wallets as far as this. So this will be third and fourth. And then, given the size of the videos, I think I'm going to continue with, one at a time, 5, 6, 7, and we'll just continue on as far as that is concerned. Now, what is digital consumers? And the idea is that digitalization is truly transforming the way we do anything. And for me, of course, we talk about artificial intelligence and healthcare and digital health. However, just to understand the back end technology, just to understand how our daily lives have been transformed by digital transformation itself, we need to make sure that we understand this as well, because we need to make sure that this is going to be also a digital consumer, which I hate the word consumer, but digital patients in the future as well. And one of the things that I want you to understand is like how each and every parallel technologies move on to counteract, to synergize with the digital transformation from the physical world itself, and how it will eventually work in synergy. So, at least from the Ark Invest perspective, they're saying that the digital leisure spending, that's a significant amount of spending that we do in terms of leisure is concerned, is going to be 6.6 trillion during the next 8 years and should grow by 17%. That's a huge growth to $22.5 trillion. One of the four sectors that they talk about is connected TV, new social platforms, especially where Gen Z comes in, and we're going to talk about how social platforms are changing, including YouTube, because of the shorts, TikTok, etc. And then, of course, sports betting, which I know nothing about, so I'm going to be skipping a lot of it. And then I'll be talking briefly about gaming. I'm not really a gamer per se, but I think it's important to understand in the context of augmented reality, virtual reality, and how digital experiences are going to change because of the gaming advances itself. So we're going to see a lot of changes that we go through. Artificial intelligence should increase the time spent on digital entertainment. Now that is the key thing. Now clearly, I mean, the amount of time, the productivity is going to be increasing significantly. We're going to see that, me writing an email, it took a little while. Now I can click, one GPT-3 text within my program, and what it does is that it truly beautifully articulates what my intentions are. So clearly the time in hand that I had in just simply drafting an email, and these seconds and minutes continue to actually add to my time itself. So I get some time back after doing all of this. So given that time consumption is concerned, we're going to have more leisure time available. That's number one. Number two, my productivity has definitely increased, as I said. And then the average hours that a person has to work is also going to go down. So the daily average working hours, for example, right now, since 2021 to 2022 is actually has a significant dip. This is because of the COVID, as you can see. But since then, it's just gone up again. And then we're going to see that continuous decline that's going to come in because the number of hours that you work on a weekly basis is going to continue to decline as well. And the reason behind it is that the number of hours that you have to produce something is definitely not needed as much. Similarly, the time that you allocated for offline activities are unfortunately declining. I mean, that really does make me a problem for my kids as well. But the offline share activity is also declining. So as you can see that there's this online share. So from 2013, you can see from 2021, there's a significant uptick in the online share of leisure activity. As we move along, we're going to see that this is going to continue to rise, and we're going to see more and more people spending more and more time online as compared to offline for leisure. I mean, for work, I mean, that's darn normal, right? I mean, at the end of the day, but more and more people are doing activities online, including leisure activities. And therefore, the whole thing is defined. Again, they try to put back everything on AI, which I do too, but at the end of the day, AI does make this more possible. So one of the things that they are really, really interested in, and that's Ark Invest. And again, my idea here is to make you give you the idea behind what their philosophy is in terms of digitalization, digital transformation. And you guys also take this into with a grain of salt, because again, Their publication is to promote their Ark Invest ETF fund. What our intention is to understand how the world is changing. And as I said, this open source research is fantastic to understand that. One of the things they're calling is connected TV. And just to give you an idea, they are our big investors in Roku. Roku is a connected TV platform, and they think that there's a huge market still to be actually made. One of the things in ad is basically ad revenue, right? I mean, there are really two forms of revenue when you're talking about and online revenues. So as far as the online revenue is concerned, you actually have either ads or you have subscriptions, right? That's it. There's really no third way around in terms of creating revenue for online services. So when you're looking at advertisement, there is really a very good opportunity in terms of linear TV ads because they're just honestly bullshit, right? I mean, I really don't want to know about hemorrhoid cream, right? Why? At the end of the day, I'm getting advertisements. And therefore, the advertisers are also really pissed off that why on earth we are sending billions of dollars to people who really do not care. And it's actually decreasing my experience of watching TV, and hence we don't watch TV. As a matter of fact, any Gen Z, you're not going to watch TV. So therefore, we're going to move towards digital ads. That digital ads are going to come through connected TV itself. So connected TV is very important to produce digital ads, and that's one of the reasons that YouTube actually pushed towards YouTube TV. And you can see more and more companies that are actually moving towards either a subscription model, right? So that's Disney Plus, uh, from what they did, and of course there's ad supported models, and therefore you're going to see that Netflix is also introducing right now a subscription based model. And the reason behind that is that they can actually capture the digital ads market because that could be more lucrative over time. um, One of the things that they are actually always talk about is viewership versus ad spend. And you can see that linear TV is also definitely decreasing. So CTV households are increasing significantly, and then linear TV is decreasing. And therefore, CTV ad spend is technically still much lower as compared to linear ad TV spend. And this is going to flip according to them. And the more and more people are going to be talking about linear TV ad spends as compared to a CTV ad spend, and therefore this is a big possibility again for them as far as as far as investment is concerned. But for us, as digital transformation happens in artificial intelligence, we're going to see that this trend also continues in AI. As a matter of fact, there are already voice assistant based in patient rooms in hospitals, but more importantly, the TVs that are presented on the patients, we're going to see that they're also going to become unfortunately areas where ads are presented. And more importantly, you're going to see a fantastic way of digitalization of that TVs to actually produce education material as well. So we're going to see a constant growth of connected TVs as we move along in terms of AI digitalization of healthcare is concerned. Um, so that's it. Should take share from the other digital ads budget and linear TV, and that's what their whole base is as far as linear TV is concerned. And you can clearly see that as far as the CTV brand spend is concerned, it is actually going from 78. So sorry, linear TV spend is concerned, you're going to go from $78 billion in 2017, and by 2022 it is 70 billion right now. And then the linear TV spend is going to decrease to 53 billion. And while on top of that, you can see that digital spends are going to continue to increase because I want personally targeted ads as well. I mean, why would I spend money on ads for a person who doesn't really care? So targeted digital ads, which really is what Facebook is all about, is actually going to come towards connected TVs as we go along. So clearly that is the market that they are very interested in. One of the second things they're talking about is what we call next generation social media. And next generation social media is a short form video, is one of the key things as we move along. And the recommendation engines are going to displace incumbent social media. And these recommendation engines are becoming more and more important. Again, recommendation engine is what? AI. And therefore, the more the AI comes into the picture, you're going to see more and more changes coming to the way we consume social media. And clearly, as you can see, there's a growing number of Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. As a matter of fact, one of my things that, what they're going to do is basically my video editor is going to take this image and then make some social media, out of this in terms of shorts is concerned. So global hours, this is one of the key elements that you need to understand. Global hours spent on mobile social media platforms. And one of the things that you see that Facebook is concerned, so Facebook started in 2020. If you can see, the Facebook is actually gone and then it's basically flattening out. So, as far as the Instagram is concerned, you can see that there's a little bit of uptick. Both Facebook and Instagram are very important internationally. Believe it or not, in US it's not, it's less so. As far as the TikTok, we already know it's a meteoric rise, and it's just fantastic to see that, like how fast that TikTok has gone into social media. Not to mention that they have started to do more and more revenue generation models, including shopping, etc. And of course, Twitter and Snap have been stagnant since 2020 as far as user engagement is concerned. If you look through social platform ad revenues, you can see that exactly the same way that, the Facebook really dominated the market and still does. And the second thing is, again, you have Facebook and then you have YouTube, and then clearly TikTok is actually having another big rise in terms of ad revenue is concerned. And we're seeing more and more ad revenues going towards um, TikTok as we go along. Snapchat is also remains to be, and then Twitter remains to be sort of stagnant as far as ad revenues are concerned. Demand for sports betting. Again, I'm not really that familiar with sports betting at all, so I'm going to skip this slide. Anyone who knows anything about sports betting, please put that in the comments. I'm not going to talk about something I don't know. However, this is one of the key areas that is going to be very important. That is, immersive virtual experiences should galvanize the next generation wave of gaming. And that's very, 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 very true. I mean, we're looking at artificial intelligence, DALI, creating fantastic images. We're going to move towards that within the next 2 to 3 years of generating videos and then eventually generating directly games by artificial intelligence. You're going to put a paragraph, a storyline, and they're going to generate a game sequence, and then people can play in through that game sequence, virtual reality, whatever that may be. And you can see that what they would like to say is that the digit attendance at physical amusement parks like Disney and Nickelodeon. I personally like to go to Universal Studios. As a matter of fact, annualized attendance pre-COVID, and then Roblox, which is another one of the largest areas where people come in for virtual experiences and a digital experience, and technically it could be called a digital amusement park. It's a game, but at the end of the day, that's what they're trying to build. And you can see that the attendance is significantly rising in terms of Roblox as far as digital experience is concerned. What they do say that global gaming software and services, that's a huge thing, that it has 7% compounding growth rate from 2017 to 2022. However, as you can see how Microsoft has invested in different gaming places where they have the Xbox, they're going to see that this is going to be another increase in terms of 10 rather than just 7. So it's not a massive sort of growth potential, but at the end of the day, you're going to see that their virtual experiences are going to change, and that's going to become one of the key important things. Now, this is very, very, very important to understand. Digital assets. Now, so what are digital assets? We always talk about assets, right? Physical assets in terms of a rental property, or a piece of property, commercial property, or a car, or whatever. What we are trending towards is that once we have digital intellectual property rights, so digital rights, intellectual rights that are digitized, and intellectual property rights that are digitized. And how does this happen? This happens mainly through NFT. So NFTs are basically tokenized way of actually proving that I own this digital asset. And once that is done, then you have a new market that comes in. Now, again, we have seen a lot of people, bullshit that went in terms of, NFT and all of that. And I get it. At the end of the day, I completely agree that most of it is actually kind of fuss and fluff. But at the end of the day, it has its own merit. It has its own at least a little bit of utility in using it. And that's where it truly comes in terms of avatars, collectibles, gaming, utility, and virtual worlds. When you have this art and virtual worlds combined, you can see that NFT mints are actually becomes more and more important. And again, I am not a big gamer, but I have heard that people are truly invested in it, and they are literally yard clubs and crypto punks and etc. that do take this very, very seriously and pay significant amount. I mean, honestly, like who knew Pokemon cards are going to be expensive? I mean, it's just ridiculous. People collect them, right? And there are like tons of things. Those similar idea of Pokemon cards that were physical and baseball cards and stuff like that. We're gonna see that digitalized in forms of NFT, and there is definitely a market for it. What important for us to understand is that there is now an important way and a clearly defined way of holding digital assets and transacting digital assets. And that's where the NFT comes in. And the fluff and everything is separate, but we're going to see that there is definitely an area where we're going to see that improving and increasing. Similarly, as you can see over here, property rights, digital assets should occur significant value. Now, this decentralized proof of ownership, that is so key, and it's amazing that it's global, right? I mean, if I wanted to own a property in Panama, and if I want to own a property in Dubai, if I have a digital proof that is decentralized, that is something that is globally accepted, that is something that I can transact at a global level, there is a definitely a key advantage to it. And therefore, as you can see, slowly and slowly, you're going to be able to see digital assets improving in terms of, the trend line is going to continue. And we're going to see that specifically when global rights of ownership are debated, because this can really create a new platform in which we can do that completely. Digital lasers is an early innings. That is so true, because as you can see that I've told about augmented reality, virtual reality, I don't use it. The headset sucks, the battery sucks, you get a headache. But as more and more battery and compute power comes in, as more and more software services, especially created by artificial intelligence, comes in, you're going to see that people are going to take digital leisure is very, very important. And we're going to see that becoming a significant market. By 2030, it's saying that it's going to be 25 trillion. There is actually 21% of 31 trillion leisure market is there. And we're going to see that this is going to increase by annual rate of 17%. That's huge. So again, digital leisure is clearly in its early innings. I completely agree with their assessment in that, and it's going to be a $5 trillion global market. Again, it's a huge, huge market. We're going to have platforms on top of platforms. Again, remember the convergence that we're going to see. Video and game software and services still is going to be on the lower innings, as you can see, and people forget that. People think that this is it. But as far as value generation is concerned, digital audio is going to be one thing. Podcast is always something that we see. Digital advertising is one thing that we're going to continue to see, and digital video, like what we're doing right now, YouTube, TikTok, etc. Some of this take this educational, informative. So all of this is going to continue to be on the rise. In the next lecture, we're going to talk about digital wallets. Thank you.